2002, freshman in college. I was taking this rock and roll class at IUPUI. One day we get into the lesson or whatever they do in that class, because it was all kind of just listening to music. And professor plays on the screen. It's a guy in a women's leotard, covered in makeup, bright red, orangish red hair, playing in this crowd with a bunch of kids, and his whole band looks like a bunch of ugly women. They're all guys, though, dressed in makeup. But it ends up being David Bowie singing Starman. At that point, I'd never heard David Bowie. But the song was just, I loved it. Like, he looks so happy in the performance. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but he's smiling, strumming his acoustic guitar, and his kids are all just enjoying it. And the music got me. Like, it was kind of, it's Goodbye Love, and, there's a starman coming from the sky to, play this music for you. And I got it because it was kind of different from everything I'd been listening to and everything I'd ever listened to at that point. But I kind of just identified with it. It was super sexual, but it's still kind of sensual. And it was kind of in your face for, I feel like, where I was at that point in my life, kind of identifying who I was and who I was wanting to be, and kind of how I was, just kind of an outcast. And that's kind of what that song, it's just this guy coming down singing to Earth. And I went on and bought the album Ziggy Stardust, Spiders from Mars, and I just kind of identified with it just because it is this alien, and that's kind of how I felt. Like, a big portion of my life was kind of like an alien outcast, and I was kind of saying it was all right to be that way, just not really giving a shit what people thought about you. Because, at that point, I feel like you're 18, 19, like I said, you're kind of going where you want to become, how you are. And at that point, I was kind of still focused on how everyone perceived me, not how I perceived myself. But then I had this, this guy dressed in a women's leotard, strumming an acoustic guitar, singing this music about, being an alien and shopping at the grocery store and ice cream stuff. I don't know, it's weird, but I ended up loving it so much though. Like, I know you were saying how it affects you. It did affect me because I was like, maybe I'm kind of an alien in a way, and everybody is going through their own things of how they perceive themselves and how you transform into stuff and yourself. And I took him really as an alien. He wasn't David Bowie to me. He was Ziggy Stardust. And that band was the Spiders from Mars, and they were coming and they're gonna, help me out where I was at. And I loved it.